When it was released toward the end of 2007, Skate reinvented the skateboarding genre with a control scheme that made tricks feel more realistic and satisfying than in any game previously. Other aspects of Skate's design weren't nearly as impressive, but it was still a good game and certainly deserving of a sequel. In Skate 2, you return to New San Vanalona after a stint in prison and discover that the fictional city has undergone some radical changes while you were inside. A large corporation has seemingly taken it upon itself to give the city a facelift, and while it insists on building structures that incorporate quarter pipes, ramps and rails, it also has a seemingly endless supply of caps and clips with which to render said areas unskateable.
What's up, old man?
Retta! Dude, is that you?
Yeah, what's up?
Your mission, supposedly, is to reclaim the city for skaters, but the storyline takes a backseat after the first hour or so. You spend most of your time entering competitions, doing photo shoots for magazines, cutting your own videos to share online, attracting sponsors, and basically just being the best skater you can be. Ultimately, you'll make enough money not only to buy more licensed clothing than you could ever want, but also to pay for a new skate park in the city. The controls in Skate 2 work every bit as well as those in the original game, which is no mean feat given that there are a lot more tricks in your arsenal this time around. The left stick controls your body, the right stick controls your board, and the buttons are used for grab modifiers and the like. It'll take some getting used to if your previous experience of skating games is limited to the Tony Hawk series, but this vastly superior setup is well worth the effort. With that said, many of the controls for different tricks are so similar that pulling off the exact moves that you want to can be tough. There are only a handful of challenges and events that require you to perform moves that specifically, but they're almost always the most difficult, simply because the analog sticks don't always feel precise enough. Your progress through Skate 2 is anything but linear, and at any one time you can expect to have at least half a dozen different challenges available to you. These include death-defying downhill races, trick competitions, challenges set by other pro skaters, and some more imaginative stuff, like draining swimming pools for use as bowls. You can instantly warp to the locations of most of these challenges if you're in a hurry to unlock new pro skaters and gear. But there's a lot of fun to be had exploring the city if you take the time to do so. You'll find plenty of new spots to skate, and since it's now possible to get off your board and walk around, you can reach areas that would otherwise be inaccessible. Another significant new feature of Skate 2 is the ability to create your own skating spots, simply by grabbing hold of objects such as picnic tables, ramps, rails, dumpsters and benches, and repositioning them. It's surprisingly easy to do, but since these items have all been made light enough for a single character to move around, they're also light enough to get moved when skaters bump into them. There's an option to reset items to the positions that you place them in, but it's still kind of annoying to see large objects that you've carefully placed getting moved around like they're made of cardboard as soon as you actually try to skate on them. Skate 2 is a game that's grounded in realism, but when it comes to things like repositioning large objects or performing insane tricks while leaping from the tops of buildings, it ditches that realism in favor of good gameplay. Sometimes, though, realism can still get in the way of you having a good time. Having pedestrians and traffic cross a line that you have to take to complete a challenge can get frustrating. And when those pedestrians start dropping physics-enabled litter, things can get so bad that you have to resort to using a quarter pipe to sweep apples, bottles and handbags out of the way. Other skaters can also be a problem, especially when you're taking part in a challenge that requires a number of you to skate simultaneously in a relatively small space. AI skaters are unaware of each other's existence and certainly don't pay any attention to what you're doing. Collisions can be avoided, but the camera is sometimes too busy showing you how good you look to show you where you're headed. There's an option to turn off collisions if you're playing online, but it's rarely necessary because other players are a lot smarter than the AI guys. There are a number of different competitive modes you can play online, but far more interesting than those are the Burnout Paradise style co-op challenges that require everyone to work together towards a common goal. These challenges can include everything from attaining a combined high score to having 6 players grind on a rail simultaneously. And most of these aren't nearly as easy as they sound. There are a few multiplayer party games that can be played offline as well, all of which require up to 4 players to take turns. Even if you've played a lot of Skate, there are definitely enough new features in Skate 2 to make it worth a look. The presentation is slick, the controls are great, and at times you really do feel like you're skateboarding. Oh, and those bone-breaking bails that would kill you in real life are just another way to earn money here. So Skate 2 is not only a fun alternative to taking to the streets, it's a safe one.
Bright Falls, a quaintly idyllic small town that has been called an iconic symbol of
Events surrounding her disappearance are chillingly mirrored by the
Alan Wake? I thought you looked familiar. I'm your biggest fan.
It's the natives, Al. Everybody hates a tourist.
No one made you come here, Barry.
There is a miracle.
I wrote the story.
Dr. Hartman's right. You're crazy.
It's all in your head. You are making this up. Must be tough, knowing that your words will change things.
Who's there? It's coming! Hey!
Oh, God. It's right behind us.
Alan, wake up.